All right, so we've got some Q&A questions from the chat, as always, on Twitch. If you ever want to ask us questions, make sure you follow us over on Twitter.
Though?
That way you know when we go live, or join our Discord. That way you know when we go live, and you can come and ask us questions. And yeah, sometimes there's stupid questions, and sometimes there's real questions.
Sometimes, all the time.
And here you go. This one's for you, Gazer. This is a hypothetical question from Little Frizz. Which character from the Pokemon anime would you invite to the podcast?
I guess that's a legit question. I guess. From the Pokemon anime. You know what I would invite? He was in the Generation 4 Diamond and Pearl anime. He won the finals. His name was Tobias.
Okay, with the Darkrai.
With the Darkrai. I want to invite Tobias.
Didn't he have a Heatran too, or something? He had like two.
Not a Heatran. He had a Latios.
Okay, yeah, Latios and Darkrai.
Yeah, I want to invite Tobias on and ask him what his other 4 Pokemon were. I'm guessing they were all legendary, and I'm like, how did you catch all of them? That's what I want to know. That's my question for Tobias.
Okay. If I had to pick one, who is the professor from the Orange Islands?
Ivory, Professor Ivory.
Yeah, Ivy.
Ivy, yeah.
Ivy. She was my childhood crush.
I mean, she was.
Everybody else is like, oh my God, Misty, Erica. No, man, Professor Ivy.
I can't blame you. I can't blame you for that. So I'd get that as well. I mean, she made Tracy.
Yes.
She made Tracy stay. So yeah, I get it.
And he eventually came back around or whatever. So
came back and started hanging around Oak. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Tracy's kind of gets around, doesn't he?
Okay. Anyways.
Any more questions?
So there's a question from Scavenger. It says, Steuben, what did the player from your store play at Worlds? What text did it have, and how did they do? I didn't have a player at my store play at Worlds. I think Scavenger might mean Jared from the team. They don't play at my store. They live in Indiana. So they played Gardevoir, and they had Cross Switcher in their list. They started.
Jared's part of Steuben's testing group.
Yeah, we have a testing
group.
And
part of sponsored by Darkside Games as well.
Team Redacted is what we are.
We gotta get those Redacted boys on here sooner or later, man.
And we planned on that, but timing kind of fell through. Because we definitely want to have an episode where like we can prove that we made something from nothing happen.
Mm-hmm.
And if we can't make it an episode, then I'll make it a YouTube video. Because the YouTube video about Worlds for 2024 did really well. And there were a lot of heartfelt comments from people pouring their stories out. And I really do want to continue making content like that can help the average Joe and Jane in the scene, because a lot of the information that people get from like the top 1% players is like two truths and a lie. Sometimes it feels like, where like it might be true for them, but it's not true for everybody else, considering circumstances. You know what I mean? Like where they're like, you want to get better at the game, just play and get better. But not everybody can do that. You know what I mean? So I'd love to find ways to
go a little bit in depth,
and talk about it in a plain way for people to fully grasp and understand what they can do within their realm of possibilities, instead of just saying, just do it.
Get good.
Yeah.
Hey, get good. Yeah, I'm definitely interested. I mean, before I knew who the Redacted Boys were, I knew a couple of members, and then when we started trying to talk about this episode, you talked about, who they were. I'm like, I don't know who that is. Who's that guy? Who is that? Don't know that name.
Twitter handles.
And he told me the Twitter handles. Like, oh, I know that guy. Yeah, I said, yeah, okay. Oh, yeah. So, yeah, definitely be an interesting episode. I feel like that's almost an episode where I should host it, and you should be part of the whole pod, and just have questions asked towards you.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
I feel like that's something, because that's a personal one for you, man. I feel like that's something where you guys should do all the talking, and I should just ask the questions. This should be your chance to talk more than have to ask questions.
Well, again, we'll figure it out. We have to get everybody on the same scheduling and whatnot.
I mean, there's like 20 of you guys. So
there's not 20 of us. There's a solid 10 super active in our Discord server. So.
Hmm. How can one join the redacted team? Is there like a initiation or like a code word we need?
You know, I don't really know. Bean invited me after last year's NAIC, after I kicked my own ass about Milwaukee, then NAIC, how I went from like almost day 2 at Darkrai to playing the exact same 59 cards to go 0-3 drop. And like I was molding pretty hard about that.
You said you want to find a group where you could like test seriously with, where you could really like, put in some work and some effort, and see some results. I remember that.
And locally, the situation is starting to change and get better, because I've had like full league challenges and cups that like max out, and people have been coming and playing every week for casuals and tournaments and stuff. So like the local scene is finally coming to something, but at that point in time, we were still kind of like, when do I get to play other than online?
Yeah, well, we gotta get the redacted team on there. That'd be an interesting episode, man. Yeah. We gotta get Kyle Sablehouse on here too.
That'd be cool.
Just to break the fourth wall. He was in the chat earlier. And I was hoping he just, magically appeared out of nowhere, and he's like, bro, I got Discord. And I'm like, yo, and I got a little, giddy inside, and I kind of giggled to myself, like, Kyle. So yeah.
Gazer sliding into the DMs.
Maybe. I mean, I don't know. Maybe. I might. I don't know. Maybe.
All right, and for Q&A, there's before we do, like derail too much, for Q&A, there's 3 more questions. I'm gonna leave you answer these ones if you want to. Make sure you read them in sequential order. I think I'm not 100% certain.
Okay. This one comes from Little Frizz. Gazer, make a basketball team starting 5 and a 6th player coming off the bench with the people in the Pokemon community. And the follow-up question to that from Little Frizz, and who would coach the team? For the basketball question before. I think I'll be player coach, Frizz. I can play, and I can also coach a little bit, so I'll be the player coach. There's 2 guys I would definitely draft, and the rest, kind of have to have additions or tryouts, you know what I mean? The 2 guys I would definitely draft would be Cal Connor. Cal Connor is like 6'2" and can actually play basketball a little bit. I think he, played in high school. And Blake Ray. And they're both shuffle squatters. Blake Ray, I hooped with him. He can hoop. He can hoop. He can dunk and get to the basket. He can hoop. So I definitely draft those 2. The rest have to be like tryouts and see. I would not draft my boy Dre, Fresno's finest. I would not draft Dre. He's a football player. And he's an athlete, but his basketball skills aren't the same. So we definitely have to have tryouts. So I'll definitely be the player coach. And the last question from Champion Cordy. We love Cordy. When Gazer and Subin 1v1 in basketball, Subin doesn't want that problem. He would get buckets. I would score on him. I would just give him buckets all day. He doesn't want that issue.
The day Gazer gets in a mosh pit with me at a metal show is the day we'll play basketball.
Stupid, I dropped my cell phone. I can't find it. It's in here somewhere.
He'd be like Velma looking for your glasses.
My glasses.
You ever seen the episode of The Simpsons where like Bart and Lisa are gonna fight, and it's just like, I'm just gonna do this, and if you happen to get into it and you get hit by my legs, that's your fault.
Was that where Lisa was spinning her arms around?
Yeah. You just put that in some metal or whatever and call it a day.
But nah, that was a Q&A section. Will we ever get like serious questions? Like I want like a serious, in-depth, hard-hitting question where we have to take our time and answer diligently and like put some really thought into it. Is that ever going to happen?
We've had a couple.
I guess we have. You're right.
Solid questions.
I think more so with Sean when we had Sean. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. When we got a little heartfelt and sentimental. So.
Yeah, I guess you're right. Okay. Our chat just loves to troll us, which is fine.
We love them no matter what they do. So. At least I do. I don't know about you. You kind of get angry at them all the time.
Only usually Clan Burglar, or people like that. That's it.
Well, it's your fault.
Will be hidden. Oh, he makes me so mad.
If they didn't have to blame you for all of your scams and crimes against humanity, then you wouldn't be mad.
Crimes against humanity? Like the world is just in a worse place because I exist.
Yeah.
He said yeah. So let's get out of here, man.
I want people to know that like the way like our stupidness, like I don't hate Gazer at all.
Are you sure?
I don't have a real mean bone in my body. I have bones, but they're not mean. It's all a bit. It's all a ruse. It's all a.
It
It's
is.
all
A
a
lot of it is.
game.
Oh, okay, not all, but a lot of it is.
Yeah.
A lot of it is. There's times where I'd say we go behind the scenes a lot, just to pull back the curtain for a little bit. I do it all the time. There's times Sub and I really get into it, and MWDC has to play, referee and break up the fight.
Yeah, we're like two stepbrothers. And he's our dad or whatever, trying to break up the fight.
boys. But no, yeah, super good episode. It was nice to be back and talk about what happened. I think that's all we got.
Yeah, that's it. Don't forget to leave a rating. 5 is a really good number. I can't say that you should give us a 5-star review, but I definitely really like the number 5. It's a really great number. I like when they would have that be the number of the episode of Sesame Street when I was a kid. I really associated it with the number 5. It really makes things better for us. But yeah, don't forget to follow us on all the social media links, as always, down in the description and the show notes below. And of course, subscribe to the YouTube channel. It's back, baby. So that'll
Shout
do
out
it.
to Mike for that YouTube love. Yeah, that's it for the Gust1 podcast. I'm Gazerbeam 2K. This was Steuben with 2 O's. Don't call him Ben.
Zeros. Thank you.
Yes, with 2. Oh, my bad. With 2 zeros.
The 2 zeros.
Don't call him Ben.
Infinity.
Oh, I get it. The Googleplex. I get it. Yeah, we're out of here. Appreciate you guys for listening.
Smell you later.
See you guys next episode.